Hello Big P fans, YouTubers. We are here at Stunt in the northeast. We are 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks since our last show at Dorset. What a contrasting weather and show. As you probably see, it's very grey out, very wet, very moist for all those people that hate that word. We're here with the two trucks. And anybody that saw us at the Great Dorset Steam Fair may have known of a slight incident. So I think it is as important to highlight the benefits and the joys of what we do, and also the negatives and the disappointments that we have to go through as monster truck operators. It's not all big shows, big jumps, waves and smiles and early teas. Sometimes there's hard nights, days, weeks, stress, toil, upset, arguments and everything else. So if you watch our previous video, you'll see how we made a half car, ripped it in half and then drove the half car. There was also the incident of Trevor the Tree in our previous video, so please do go and check them out. I personally think the Trevor the Tree video is hilarious as we torment Michael and his new, for want of a better term, pet tree. All our friends at the Dorset Steam Fair will probably know where I'm going with this video. It was simple. We were going to do 10 normal shows in 5 days and one stunt show spectacular on the Sunday night, which is, if anybody's ever been to the Dorset Steam Fair will know, is the last night, and they blow the big whistles on all the steam engines. It's great magic, and we've created this stunt show. Over the past, we've had many of our great friends, Bulldog, Kangaroo Kid, we've had Extreme, we've had the Family Stanage, and all the top acts that you'll see in the UK in touring, working together, intertwining, so there'll be something with one act and the other act at the same time, something with us and the other act. And this year, for example, we always start off with the half car race. So we've had up to 6 half cars running. This year we only managed to get 3, so we start off with the 3 half car race. Great hell have it. And that all goes wonderfully. And then we go into a relay where Clarky with his pre-65 trials team, they go up and then up and over obstacles, and then they come back and they tap another one of their riders and they go up and over the obstacles, and then they come back and they tap Paul Hannam's crew, because there's 2 of them, and they go up and then they wheelie up and wheelie back and then go 2 wheel up and 2 wheel back, and then they jumped onto the big quads because they did these on little kids quads, wheelie up, and then it was then the flag down for monster trucks. It was Grim Reaper versus Big P, and we rise up the arena, and the first up to the top then gets to jump onto the cars. Wonderful. All goes to plan. And we had this skit all planned out. And we planted the seed, as you may have seen, on our Instagram and Facebook, and the premise was simple. We had our friend George from the Mini Monsters. We dressed him up as a traffic warden. He came out in the traffic warden van that you've seen stickers on, and after we took the applause in Grim Reaper for winning the relay, he comes along and he starts to clamp it. Then Clarky comes out on his trials bike, knocks him over, does a few hops. Everybody's laughing because we're having a go at the traffic wardens, because boo is them. Then the traffic warden van gets moved and puts next to the cars. And the plan was simple. We drive the traffic warden van and put it next to the 2 cars. And Big P was going to go up the 2 cars and up on top and just crumple the traffic warden van, then back off. And the final pièce de résistance was the van was going to drive away with its crumpled roof, and it was all going to be great and hilarious. And this, I will tell everyone, is a stunt we did earlier on in the year, which went flawlessly. We crumpled a estate van that belonged to a promoter, and it was great. We crumpled it, he got in it, it drove off. We knew what we were doing, we knew the trick worked. The only thing is, is we changed one of the variables. When we did the trick, it was Michael driving Big Pete. Michael's always in the seat of Big Pete. I've been in rotation with him, and I'll give him his credit, he's very in tune with the truck. He knows exactly what he needs to do and how to do it. And the variable was, we wanted to bring into the routine at some point our dad. Now, we love our dad, and he is a legend. Steve Murty, Google him. He's got us into this business with his wheelie truck, a truck that does wheelies, and a jet powered truck. And he is also a very experienced monster truck driver, but that was 20 years ago. He's now 75, and we stick him in and we go, right, this is what you want to do. We don't know if this was made very clear to him, and what actually happened was Big Pete climbed up the two cars and into the van. He then stopped. We don't know if he thought he'd done what he needed to do, but he'd stopped. So Michael, trying to keep the show on, goes, come on Steve, keep going, keep going. So then he starts spinning the wheels, all the wheels going, just resting into the van. And then the tyres started to grab onto the van, and then the van started to crumple, and Big Pete climbed up on top. And at the moment he should have stopped, Steve kept going, which meant that the van went right up underneath, sideways on, rolled over, and got stuck underneath Big Pete. And it was breached. And everybody in England and Britain loves it when something goes wrong. We love it. That's why we cheer when a waiter drops a bowl or a glass or anything. Way! So everybody loved it. We goes in, I say we, I was in Green Reaper at the time. So we go and have a look at the damage. And underneath Big Pete here, come with me. So not like any other monster truck, because everything's up here. As you can see, usually there's a lot of drop boxes and prop shafts a lot lower, but the drop boxes, each axle has a drop box. See? So it goes here and then it's drop box down to the bottom wheels, whereas a lot of the monster trucks will have this rotated round 180 and the prop would go into there. So that means that the prop shafts are very high. And in this instance, as we come under here, it got breached and stuck on here. Now this is, and we didn't know this until 2 weeks ago, a Rockwell T226 transfer case. They can only be found in America. And when we first looked at the situation, we feared the worst. We feared that this whole unit had smashed. Because this prop shaft, which is now in primer, was floating around, not engaging in anything, and there was obviously a breakage and crackage. So in that one very simple practice stunt, but with the changed variable, had meant that we'd broken this. And as I'm saying to you, there are none of these in the UK, which means we had to get one of these from America. Not only did we have to get one from America, we had to learn very quickly what this is specifically. So we learned very quickly that it was a Rockwell T226 part. And to make things more complicated, this here is called the D-clutch unit. This is an extra. So it'll either come as four-wheel drive always, or it comes with the D-clutch unit, which we use a lot to separate it from two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. We do that because we don't want to wind the discs up unnecessarily and on four-wheel drive, so we drive around in two-wheel drive. So this was smashed off. We had, at that point, a sinking feeling because we had to be at this show what we're at now, stand up, in less than 2 weeks to find, research and get in a replacement part. We took the old one off. We sent it off to be welded by Chris at KS Welding and Fabrication in Middlesbrough. But problem number one is no guarantees it would weld. Number two, no guarantees that it would weld and go back on. And number three, no guarantees that it would weld, go back on and work. So it is, and there was obviously a very precarious time limit that we had to adhere to. So we went on the internet and we found in America one D-clutch unit. Turns out we didn't need the full T226 part, we just needed the D-clutch unit, and there was one for sale. We buys it, we gets in touch with the person selling it and we says, can you ship it to England? No, he won't ship it to England because he's got no experience in export. So we have bought this part and it's sat in Phoenix, Arizona, and we can't get it to England. But in steps Ken Ruddy from Team Ruddy Motorsports. He went and collected the package in Phoenix, Arizona and packaged it up, organised FedEx, fastest delivery. And a massive thank you to Ken, because without him I don't think where we'd be in now. We would just be hoping that the welded up part would be up to it. He's got it packaged and in 3 days it landed. So we can't thank you enough, Ken. If you ever get a chance to watch this, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have literally saved the day. So that lands on Monday. We also get the repaired, welded up D-clutch unit from Chris at KS Welding and Fabrication, and thank you to him because we needed both. We now got a spare. Anything could have gone wrong. We needed both and they both delivered. We also needed a push-pull cable so we can do the selections. And a massive thank you again to Hindler's Controls Bradford for the push-pull cable. I also want to have a big shout out to Terry Woodcock at Freedom Racing. He owns and operates the Cyclops monster truck. It's a beautiful monster truck. If you ever go and do some research, go and look for that. It's a beautiful monster truck. Really nice guy. He tried his hardest to get us a full complete unit, and we're still, Terry, if you're watching, we still want a full unit. So, but thank you for your time putting into it, and we still want a full T226 transfer box with D-clutch unit. We fits it all together and we makes it. We are here. It drives, it operates. But it was very touch and go. We didn't know how we were going to go. We've still got the shows to do, but thank you to all those guys, the hard work. Andy Outhwaite on the team, he did a lot of the legwork. I just did a bit of bumbling around talking to a few people. But without all those people mentioned, we would not be here today at this show and seeing out the season. Hence why there was radio silence. I didn't want to give any clue to anyone that we was possibly not going to be able to turn up without the big girl herself. But we are here, she drives, and she's going to crush some cars. So yes, it's not all plain sailing, because we nearly missed out the rest of the season due to a slight miscommunication error and slight misjudgment, which is so easily done. It could be any part, but here we are, looking forward to seeing out the rest of what is been the biggest and busiest season of the year. And thank you all who's come and seen us this year, our new followers, our new subscribers, our new TikTokers. 1 million views on TikTok. So until next time, peace out.